I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, this week we have been learning the 10 Commandments. We have been committing them to memory, and today is our recital. All of our friends and family are gathered to watch us do our recital. You know, they say that children live by rules, but adults live by principles. What does that mean? Well, with a child, you have to give them rules with consequences in order to teach them when they're young. They just don't have the ability to rationally and maturely think through situations, so you have to give them simple rules with consequences. For instance, don't play in the street. If you play in the street, you're going to get punished. What are we trying to keep them from? Getting hit by a car. But we don't go into all that. They can't even conceptualize that stuff. Don't play in this. If you play in the street, you're going to get punished. But then when I grew up, guess what? I don't need a rule that says don't play in the street in front of my house. That's not against the law. But I don't do it. Why don't I do it? Because I am mature enough to live by the principle. And the principle says the more time that I spend goofing off in the street, not paying attention, the higher probability that I'll get hit by a truck. So these 10 commandments, yes, they are rules, but they also act as overriding principles on which the rest of all these other commandments will sort of fall under the heading of one of these 10 commandments. Now, so let's review these since everybody's here. Number one, right? Commandment number one. You hold up the one finger, and that's the easiest one. Commandment number one. And what does it say? There's only one God. If anybody says, hey, you want to recite the 10 commandments, who wants to start? Be the first guy if you can't remember the rest of them, because that's the easiest one. Oh, number one, there's only one God. You know, number two is pretty much just like it, right? You hold up you got the one, right? And then you've got the one, and then you've got the two. If there's only one God, well, then you shouldn't make any more. If you show up and there's two gods there, you have to figure out which one of these is the God of the Bible, because that's the one I'm going to follow, because there's only one God. So don't make any more, right? No idols, no graven images. The third commandment, right? You hold up a 3, right? For like a W for Wiggins, right? That's the way I remember it. Hold up a 3 and you say to yourself, what? Do not use the Lord's name in vain. Why? Because that's spiritual adultery. How's that spiritual adultery, using the Lord's name in vain? Well, because you say, well, we're the people of the Lord, and yet you're still chasing out after the world. That's to have received his name, like a woman marries a man and she receives his name, and yet you're not faithful to that man whose name that you have received. Don't receive his name in vain. That's a sin. We usually teach it with commandment number 7 because they basically deal with the same things, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But what about the next commandment? Commandment number 4. Well, that's pretty simple, right? You just hold up the 4. You say, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, because that's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. Number 4. The 5th commandment. Hold up a high five in one hand, and then you just say, honor your father and mother, and you will live long in the land that the Lord has given to you. So you got that high five up. You're holding, it's like you're holding the shirt of a kid, and then you got your high five. You give him a spanking, right? Because in our house, if you disobeyed your parents, you got a spanking. Number 6, the 6th commandment. Commandments number 5 and 6 are my favorites. They were my favorites, my kids' favorites when I was teaching them. Commandment number 6 is easy. High five and a 1, right? And then you turn the 1 into a gun and shoot your brother. Do not commit murder, right? Do not commit murder. The 7th commandment, you hold up a high five in one hand and then you hold up a peace sign in the other, right? Like this, right? Number 7. Remember, we teach number 3 and 7 together. 3 dealt with spiritual adultery, receiving the Lord's name, but in vain, right? Say that you're the people of God and yet you're still trying to shack up with the world. But commandment number 7 is pretty simple. Don't commit adultery. One is spiritual adultery. The other is interpersonal, right? People to people. Don't be married to one person, shacking up with another person. It's a good way to get on reality TV, I suppose. Horrible way to get into the kingdom. The 8th commandment, right? You hold up a high five in one hand and you hold up 3 fingers in the other hand and you say, do not steal. I stole the bread and then I ate it. right? That's commandment number 8. Stole the bread and then I ate it. Well, you can hide the evidence all you want, but the Lord still knows that you stole it. What about the 9th commandment? Well, with the 9th commandment, you hold up a high 5 and a high 4, I suppose, and then you say, do not lie. Commandment number 9, no lying. Because I think 9 and lion sort of rhyme, at least they do in Arkansas, where I am from. Do not lie. The Bible uses prettier language. Do not bear false witness. Okay? And now we get to the 10th commandment, right? And we say this, 10 is the end, right? Number 10, that's it. We're done. It's almost like, okay, ho, bro, we're done. Back off. 10 is the end. We love it, but we still don't covet. We talked about how coveting is not just wanting something that somebody else has. That's easy. Just go work and buy the thing that they have. There's nothing wrong with wanting something. Coveting goes deeper. It goes into envy. You don't want that other person to have something that you can't have. And then that gets evil. So now here we are. We know the 10 commandments. So let's be resolved to obey them, right? Share them with one another. Practice them. It's kind of fun. Just kind of yell out to your friends. Say, oh, what about number 5? What's number 5? And they'll be like, spanking a kid. Number 5. Obey your father and mother, right? And they yell out a number, like number 3, spiritual adultery. Don't receive the Lord's name in vain. So then you get to where you can just work them. You can just work it through. And it's fun. And it challenges people. And you know what? That's just good times. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast.